Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Scottsdale Living Podcast. I'm here with two business owners, Devin Hines and Nicole Dorkson from Authenticity Collective. And today we're going to talk a little bit about their company, about the word authenticity. And I know it's kind of a hot button thing right now to talk about how we're feeling a lot in 2025, 2024, and really since the pandemic started. I think it's really important to connect with people. And I think that also people are really lost right now. Like just in general, I could just speak for myself. There's lots of times where things aren't really going right. And I'm asking myself how I want to represent myself. How do I want to see myself in the future? Am I working toward that goal? Do my behaviors align? Am I accountable? Am I responsible? And so I want to know about your company, how you operate, and a little bit about why this is so important to you. So welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Amber.
Absolutely. So Nicole, let's start with how you guys met.
Sure. We met at a children's party.
Okay.
So we met at a children's party about a year after I had moved to Scottsdale.
Yes. It was, what kind of party was it?
Yeah, it was very hot. I remember it was one of the first summers I experienced Arizona weather. It was hot. There was horses. It was at a farm. It was very far away. And quite frankly, I didn't want to be there. And it was one of those situations where I was going to a party, dreading all of the surface level conversations that I was going to have. And then I met Devin. And in about 15 minutes flat, I think I was crying and she was laughing, and we had all the emotions, and we felt like we'd known each other for years.
Yes. Wow.
And we were all in this little canopy, and then the farm animals were everywhere. It was in the middle of August. So we're outside and it's just hot and miserable. And I didn't want to be there either. I was at a concert late at night. We were backstage. I was off this kind of come down from being so wowed, and I saw her and I was like, wow, she just looked like a beacon of light.
Oh,
that's
it was
so
great.
Sweet.
It was great.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you guys formed this friendship, and obviously just from the conversation, you connected over something emotional, something deep to you.
Yeah. And I think that's the importance behind all of this, is that just when you feel comfortable to be yourself around someone, we were able to share stories that went deeper than surface level, and that we were able to connect on so many things. And we kind of lived somewhat parallel lives, even though we were in different parts of the world. So when we dug deep and we shared things that we maybe wouldn't share with everyone else, we realized how many similarities we had at our core. So the connection just developed really quick.
Yes, the connection was the fact that we both were big, bad business women and had, we have very strong girls. Well, I have 3 strong girls. She has one powerhouse of a little lady.
Oh.
And parenting that, you can't stop it. You got to watch it and let it flow. Those types of girls, similar to us growing up. There was no no's for me. It was, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and take the repercussions. And that's what I think both of us vibed. We're both out. I hate using that word. Alpha female. That just doesn't.
No, 100%.
I like it.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just like you need to just, I am woman and here I am. Like, why do we have to be why do we have to call ourselves alpha?
Yeah. I would have said that you were an alpha woman, though. I had seen Devin around because our kids go to the same school. And to be really honest, when I first moved here, I was like, she's a powerhouse in her own right. I'm a powerhouse in my own right. Maybe our paths don't need to cross.
Oh, wow.
That was kind of my thought, because she had a big personality, and we kind of just kept our separate ways until we were able to open up. And then I had a totally different opinion on who she was and what she was about. And going even, I think, deeper than that, I think before we became big powerhouse business women who were large and in charge, we had a history that was quite similar, where we were very lost. We have addictive personalities, both of us, addicted to all the things. And we had a lot of trials and tribulations to get us where we were as like big powerhouse women. So I think on many levels, we were able to connect.
Yeah. She couldn't have said it better. That's exactly it. It was like, you kind of trust somebody who's been through that, because and they're not, this is the thing, it's not trauma dumping either. It's like, I was there, I made through it, and here I am, and I'm better. And so we really, I could speak for myself. I can speak for myself. If somebody's gone through hard times or addictions and overcome it, I just resonate with them so well. Like I understand, I can feel it. I'm so empathetic. I can feel what they went through because I remember that little girl or that teenager or that young professional that had a panic attack on the highway. You know, like I understand. I feel what's going on. And now I'm in my 40s. I'm like, okay, you're going to be okay. Now let's live life. Now let's go ahead and do this.
Yeah. And that's the point. I think we all have such a unique journey and we all have stories that are dark and they have light. And I think just opening up and sharing those stories for the relatability, for the connection is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about a couple of things. I actually really want to talk about the word addiction right now, what it means to you, because both of you have used it. And it's a really powerful word that often gets so much judgment. It makes my heart hurt to see people who are really going through something that it is an actual disease process. I think that on some realm, I've heard people basically say like, well, it's just a choice. And it really does a disservice to what you're talking about. And also placates it into like one little bubble of like, as if somebody put the wrong shoes on today. You know, like that was like, why'd you wear sandals? We're playing outside. Like it's not that way. So do you want to talk about that word a little bit, about what it means to you and why maybe some of that drove you to this version of what authenticity is? Like, how do we get from addiction to authentic living?
Well, I think addiction lives in all of us, really. I think we all have addictive behaviors. We all do things that distract us from wanting to be our authentic selves. That's what addiction is, whether it's alcohol, whether it's your phone, whether it's men, women. There's so many addictive behaviors that take us away from who we really are. And that's usually because who we really are hasn't been accepted, loved, and appreciated. So that usually comes from childhood wounds or conditioning or belief systems that we've had growing up. So addiction lives in us all. That's my view on it. I mean, some have worse levels of addiction than others, and mine personally was pretty bad. I think Devin can agree hers was too. But it's just it's a way to take yourself away from who you truly are. So it's deeply connected and intertwined with authenticity, because you can't live authentically. You can't be real and honest with other people if you're not real and honest with yourself. And when you're engaging in addictive behaviors, it's very hard to do that. Personally, I think that.
So was this a journey where you said no more to your addiction first? And how did that get you to Authenticity Collective?
Yeah. I always said I didn't have an addictive personality, but I knew I did, because what I like. I'm very passionate. So if I like a friend, you know, they're going to be my identity maybe for that whole season. I owned a restaurant. So I could just put my alcohol. I don't drink. I've been 5 years sober. So I could
Congratulations.
Thank you. I could just hide the alcohol with under the restaurant. Like that kind of goes hand in hand. Being a professional, you do happy hours. How are you gonna do happy hour if you don't have a drink
in your hand
and be funny?
Yeah.
The thing,
am I fun?
Yes, I am fun. I can relate to you. We both can put down our guards, and then now we can go and tell the sneaky stories that we're keeping, you know, health stories or whatever. And I would always leave from those thinking, oh, they know too much. They know too much. They know they were
like you had overshared.
Loose lips.
Yeah, and I was like, Devin, you could do that. You have a sober drunk girl personality, so why don't we?
I love that.
Why don't we remove the alcohol and anything you say? That's all on you. Like that's you.
Oh, so you were using alcohol as an excuse to have a conversation that you didn't want to represent after the interaction?
Correct. Yeah. Okay. I think there has been many of a apology train in the morning to friends, or, you know, I'm not ready. I was a little bit of a secret teller. So somebody would tell me their secrets during the week. I'd keep them, but when I was drinking, they'd let them go. You know, I didn't have a rock bottom. I had green lights everywhere. I'm in charge of everything. Everybody who knows me, I make up the story, and that's what we're going. If you want to do my story, that's fine. I encourage you to do your own, but mine's going to be awesome. Like you're going to want to come.
You're going to want to listen in.
Yeah,
Tune in here.
Yeah, this is going to be a wild ride. And then I just woke up one day. I was at the Great Wolf Lodge.
Okay.
That'll do it to you.
I know, right? That was probably like... And we were just parents partying, and I woke up in the morning and I was like, I can't do 1 second of this. I had a 9-month-old and a 3-year-old, and I just said, this isn't my authentic self. That's what happened. I was just like, this isn't who I am. I don't even know who I am. I just have to, and the pandemic had started 2 months later. And I was like, wow, this is such a gift. I don't have to talk to anybody. I can start rediscovering myself, doing the work, reading the books. Maybe I'll be married. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But I really have to save myself at this point. And God forbid my 3 powerhouse girls are going to see this mom who's not there and not present, because I know how that feels. I know what that's like. Now, when I see people, fast forward, I see them. Like, I can directly see into their souls. Like, I know what's going on. And that's such a gift. I wake up every day. I'm so lucky. I'm just so lucky to live this version of myself.
So your gift to yourself was fixing this behavior so your daughters, you could model it better for them.
Absolutely.
Be present.
For me. And, some people say, well, I'm fine. Gosh, yes, you are fine. You're way better than I was. Like that. They're always relating it to their journey. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with me. This is just me. I really needed to put positive, well-adjusted, high-powered women into society, not to have these broken women go, well, my mom did it. Well, my mom was checked out, so I'm going to check out. Not to say that they won't go through their own journey and their own addictions, but it's not going to be because I would have modeled before. So,
did you feel that immediately positively impacted them? Could you see it?
Oh yeah, I had my 3-year-old. She was in the bath one day, and her little friend, they just come from the pool, and they were in their bathing suits, and I was kind of watching them like by the door. They couldn't hear me. And she said, my mom talks funny at night. And I was like, the wine, makes you silly. And and it just hit me. And I just thought, she sees everything.
Yeah.
We don't even have to speak English, and she could, see everything and feel it. There would be nights that I was just not there. I just thought I was having fun, or, I didn't even know what they put him to bed in, kind of pajamas. That really upset me. So as soon as I removed that, I wasn't mad at that girl, because that girl probably got me through a lot of things, but I embraced that, forgave her. And now I can totally understand what other women are going through. Like, I see that. I'm not like, oh, that's terrible. I would never. I'm different. No, like, I get it. And that's your journey. And when the lightning strikes you and you're lucky enough to have this spontaneous addiction release, it's going to be really impactful.
I love that you're talking about your accountability journey.
Yeah.
Like, without that, there really isn't any change, because you're not challenging yourself about what you're doing and who you are, and asking yourself those questions about how you want to be seen. And am I actually reflecting what I would like people to see me as? Like, what am I?
Yeah.
Who am I?
That's the truth. That's the truth.
What do I want to be? Is that really how I'm acting? Like, I love that. And so how did that get you to this?
I had years of just kind of sitting. You got to sit with your uncomfortableness. It only really lasts a day, if that. So I try not to over caffeinate. I try not to use these things that feel good. Anything, phone doom scrolling, over exercising can be one of them. Positive things can turn into just your coping mechanism. So if I can recognize that quickly, change my behavior. Workaholic. My husband is notorious for that. I don't get it, but
hi, honey.
Yeah. So I'm just so authentically myself, and people basically can like it or not, but the right people like it. So a huge thing I have in my head, most people like me. And if you don't like me, you're going to end up liking me, because it's like that kind of Mr. Bean mentality where you're just like, how could you not? She's just being herself. How could you hate somebody for being just them? You're not a really great person if you just are like, I can't do that. I can't be around that. I'm not a liability anymore. So there's nothing there. So when I met Nicole, I'm just kind of like, here it is. And she's like, perfect. Thank you. Like, thank you for being you. Now I can be myself, and let's show other people how to show up for themselves.
Yeah. And what about for you, Nicole?
Wonderfully put.
Thanks.
Yeah. Are we focusing on the addiction kind of journey? Is that kind of what you're interested in?
Yes.
I suppose. I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, I do want to hear how you addressed whatever your actual addiction was at the time.
Yeah.
And how that plays for you wanting to inspire authenticity in others.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it all comes down to that one thing. It's like, am I showing the world who I truly am? Does my behavior reflect my value system? Does it reflect who I truly am inside? And do I even know who I truly am inside? And is there parts of me that am I shameful of, that I want to squash, that I want to hide, that I want to shrink away? Right. So, I mean, my addiction journey has been kind of long. It hasn't been too bumpy. I think having children, like Devin said, is like a huge wake up call. I'm very passionate about breaking generational curses. And when I started learning more about that and how my behavior can directly affect my daughter, I had some trauma that happened to me when I was 6, 7 years old. My daughter turned 6 when the first year we'd moved here. Didn't have a career to focus on. I was very, doing the introspective work that I needed to do to figure out who the hell I was. And my daughter was a reflection of me at the age where it kind of went sour. So it was a wake-up call for me. And then meeting Devin, someone who was funny and lively and great at parties and all the things, straight sober, I was like, this can definitely be done. I mean, I went to a rehab facility when I was 22 for 3 months. So, I mean, my addiction journey has been long and it hasn't been perfect. And I mean, I think I've been sober for 7 months and I know I didn't hit rock bottom, and I would tell Devin, I can manage it. I can manage my alcohol, which I could, and I wouldn't go and do anything too outrageous like I used to, but it was just that disconnection from self and not living how I truly wanted to and not being seen by my kids how I wanted to be seen. That in the end, I was just like, it's just not worth it. It's not serving me anymore. It's just doing everything to take away from who I truly am. So, and it takes a lot of work, and it's not about just quitting alcohol, because I just quit alcohol probably 100 times, right?
Okay.
You just quit and you go, oh, my life is going to be perfect. And that's just not what it is. It's the quitting alcohol and then doing all the work deep down inside to figure out why you drank in the first place. And that's the work and the journey that I've been on probably since about 2016, when I really started treating it serious, starting to take it seriously, and using different modalities and learning about myself and the therapy and all the things. And it's just kind of led me to this beautiful point in the road where I've met Devin, and, I'm able to turn my pain into helping other people. Because there's not many things that Devin and I haven't been through that people have been through. Like, we can relate to people on many levels, which is really great. And we're very healed in some respect that we're able to talk about it. Like, for me to talk about my addiction or any of my dark sides of me, even 5 years ago, I would be sitting here in tears, So it's just, there's so much healing that has happened. And it doesn't happen alone.
Right.
You need to not feel isolated and alone. And I think COVID did that to a lot of people. So bringing, shared stories and connections with other people to go, oh, she goes through that. It's the most beautiful thing in our events when someone says, oh my God, I thought she had it all together.
Yes.
I cannot believe she's going through something similar to me.
You just don't even know. And these are very affluent women. And they're just like, wow. Like, it's just, you don't know if you're going to share or not. Just something moves you where you're like, this needs to come out. And then you do feel a little bit vulnerable afterwards, but it feels so cleansing and cathartic, like years of therapy couldn't do.
No.
Because we also lie to our therapists. Come on. We want them to look, we want to look good in front of them. We want to look good. And when we talk about addictions, doesn't have to be alcohol, even though that's the big one that's legal and women are allowed to do it. Socially, now they actually weren't allowed in bars in 1950, I don't know the exact year, but I used to own a restaurant that was open in 1949 and they weren't allowed in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
In Chicago?
Yeah, because women were not allowed to drink openly in public.
Well, and I think women suffer more because of the stigma is so strong, because we're supposed to have it all together. It's not the boys' club. And we get all this permission from men to
hair done,
do
yoga pants, baby in one arm, coffee in the other, driving all the kids to sports.
Right.
And there's actually no way to win as a woman. You both have children. It sounds like you have, self-confidence and understand self-worth. And is that the perfect picture of a woman? Is that what women are supposed to be? Or is there some component that pressures us to feel like we have to be married and we have to be mothers or we're not complete? It's such an internal struggle, right?
Yeah.
But then also it's asking yourself, like, why do I want this? What do I have? Am I appreciating it? It's like, I like that you're talking about the struggle, and then also that you're owning it in a way that allows you to move forward and appreciate it in some way. Like, I'm strong because.
Yeah.
I'm this because.
I mean, yeah, don't you just want to be happy with yourself? Like, don't you just want to wake up
Ultimately,
and go,
that's it.
I don't have to do anything on my to-do list today. Women feel like they have to, or else they're going to get behind for some reason. Like, am I just going to be washed off the whole social calendar and like not own a business anymore because I haven't done what I needed to do?
Or if I say a few no's.
Yeah, people might be mad at me, but they'll get over it. They'll find their next target. Like, I have to choose myself first at this point in my life. I don't know how much time I have.
Yeah.
You know, and to just be content and happy by yourself, that's huge. And that's so big.
That's another thing that we face right now. Like, we're both in our 40s, and it's like you do start to go through this phase in life where you go, oh my God, it's like half my life is over. Like, how am I truly living my life right now?
Yes.
And then we also get to deal with like a crash in hormones, you know, so our progesterone and our estrogen's dropping. So like our need to nurture and like care for everyone is actually going away. So, I mean, we do have a lot of people, like our demographic is kind of 35 to 65.
Yes.
You know, and a lot of women that are going through very, very similar situations, mentally, spiritually, physically, physiologically, you know, there's so many levels that we can relate on.
Yeah. And our events vary. So it's not boring, and not everybody's at the same event. We have some, you know, definitely VIP diehards, but we have people that's just a different vibe each time. It's different. And how awesome is it to have something on the calendar once a month that you actually look forward to?
I love that.
You know,
so
like,
it's all women.
It's all women.
You said your demographics 35 to 65.
Yeah.
Okay. And then tell me how these events go, because I saw a little bit on your social media, like you guys were around a fire pit, you had books and maybe some kind of cue card on it. Is it someone presenting? Tell me how they go. What's the mission of the actual events?
Yeah. Well, I think we were inspired initially. Well, I was inspired personally. Devin moved into this big, beautiful house, and she had this sunken in fireplace. And I had dragged Devin to a retreat about 2 weeks before. And we had a few, you know, moments where we were like, okay, something is clicking, feeling really right about this. And then we see the fire pit, and I show up at Devin's house, and I said, we're going to have some fireside chats.
Yeah.
It was one of our favorite parts of the retreat that we'd been to the few weeks before. It wasn't like all the flash or the facilitators or any of the things. It was just women getting together and being real, raw, relatable, honest, all the things.
Yes.
And we loved that, didn't we?
Yeah. Nicole has a way of just telling me, this is what we're doing. And I like that. It's like, show up here.
direction.
This is what we're doing. Because I'll say yes or no like an adult. You know, you're not going to convince me anything. I'm my own worst enemy. But she just nails it each time. And she's been doing this work for 10 years. So how could I not trust it? And it just felt so right with me. Even all the work that we put into these events, the Eventbrite tickets, you know, get everything curated perfectly, getting the right guest speakers, getting the right modality people. I think she nails it each time. She has such a great way of just putting it together and letting...
you know what it is, and we do such a great job. It's not just me, you know that. But thank you. I do appreciate it. I think it's just showing up authentically for ourselves allows other people to show up authentically for themselves. And that's all there is to it. So we don't always have, you know, guest speakers or like, you know, huge like attraction points to come. We have really good food. You come, you get acquainted among each other with great food.
Really good food.
And it's an interesting process because a lot of people don't know each other. Sometimes people will come with another friend, but usually it's a lot of different walks of life, different ages, different, you know, everything.
Yes.
So people are a little bit nervous, as they do when you come to an event. So it's the surface level chat start. So how are you? And, you know, my name's such and such. I have a kid, a husband, you know, all the things. And then, you know, the mood kind of lightens, and then we gather everyone. Usually this is kind of like our base model or philosophy and methodology of how we're running our events. We'll go around the fire, and then we come up with a theme every time. So the very first one we did was like, who are you? Like, you know, you ask yourself that, who are you? And everyone's like, well, what do you mean? I'm a mother, I'm a sister, no, it's like, no. Yeah. Who are you?
Yeah.
So every one of our events, we do a meditation So we put lovely music on, we're around the fire, and then we walk through a visualization or a meditation. You can call it what you like, just to bring people to that point. So in that particular session, on our first one, we let people recognize what their core values are. So we do a little exercise of visualization to visualize, light within their heart and, what kind of themes and words come up for them. And then after that, we just have discussions. What came up for you? Simple as that. And that was the scary part, I think, in our first event, because we're kind of like, oh my God, do we have to facilitate this whole thing? Because we're not psychologists, we're not psychiatrists, we're not therapists. Mm-hmm. Are people going to think that we have enough value to speak on this topic? Mm-hmm. But opening it up and sharing just enough to make people feel comfortable, we just go around the circle and everyone shares just the most beautiful things that you could ever imagine.
Yeah. So in my head, when I go into these things, like I go into anything, it's not curated. I mean, everything, all the work has been done. Mm-hmm. So as an events planner or owning a restaurant, you're putting on a party every night. I am the personality that just comes out. Like, how can we prepare for this? You're going to ask questions. We're going to know if we vibe right away. Yeah. Like it's that whole thing. So when we go there, it's not about us really. We'll facilitate. It's about everybody. It's the collective. So it's everybody sharing their life experiences, whatever comes up that day, because we're different every day. At a huge point, God, I say this all the time in my fitness training, we're all doing this for the first time. So nobody's like better than anybody. Nobody is the expert. Like I started training my friends just because I got in shape, and then I turned it into a business. And I think that's a huge point to get across to the women on my side, is why I'm so vulnerable and open. Because nobody has the right answer. I'm not going to put on an act so you can like me better. Yeah. I have to like myself first. I'm number one, like hands down. And then my kids, and then my husband, and then, it goes like that. But I think you show up to our events with no expectations. So you come for food. You don't have to share. You can just listen to everybody. We want you to feel really good when you leave, like cathartic, like this feeling of, when's the next one? Yeah. Like, when can I, instead of going to a happy hour or an event, a charity event where you're just depleted, where you've just had these micro conversations with everybody. 3 kids from Chicago, second marriage, blah, blah, blah. Like, like, who are you? Yeah.
And I think letting people know that there's strength and vulnerability. Vulnerability is seen as, such a weakness, but it really is a strength. And how uplifting you feel when you can be vulnerable and share a story and someone connects to you and you've changed their life. We get a lot of beautiful messages, how it's like, I can't believe that such and such said that one thing that stood out for me. And it's totally changed my thinking on things. It's really impactful, meaningful, deep stuff. And I think just from listening to the people who maybe don't have, if they don't have religion or they don't have a spiritual practice that they lean on, we've started to include different modalities of experience just to give these beautiful women a toolbox of things that they can tap into. So if they are feeling lost, or they're not at an event, or they miss an event, or they're trying to get in touch with that special part of themselves, they can tap into these different things. So we've done everything from astrology readings to yoga to somatics to breath work. We've done it all.
And a huge point to add on that is the meditation. And meditation, everybody knows they need it. Everybody really doesn't know how to do it. And she facilitates a really good meditation circle. We're also doing a subscription online, so you can follow the meditation when you need it. But it's just like stretching. Like, who likes stretching? We know it's easy. We know it's there, but it almost feels like you need a guided stretcher, like yoga practice or something. So I think the meditation is for me, it's a huge part of why I love it so much, why I keep going.
Why I keep coming back.
Yeah. I've been having a lot of conversations about meditation lately. I think maybe even 5 or 10 years ago, that was something that I didn't even want to do because of my religious upbringing. It felt like it was anti-religious to do meditation.
We hear that.
I had patients, I'm a physical therapist. I had patients tell me they didn't want to do yoga because it was religious. Wow. And I was like, we're talking about the movements and how we're moving our body. So we're using a yoga-like pattern. We're not practicing a religion. But also that's how they felt. So like my respect is, don't worry about that. We're going to do a hamstring stretch now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
change the language.
Change the language, change the format. And also I'm not inserting energy into their world at that moment. We're just trying to get to an outcome that's positive for them.
100%.
But then I did experience it. And I also said I was never going to experience hypnosis. Same line of thought.
Oh.
And I met a woman that I felt comfortable with. And it changed everything. I'd met like 10 hypnotists.
See?
But I was like, oh, I had some words. And and I met this woman, and she's so incredibly caring and kind and just like energy giving. And it feels so authentic that you can't help but want to like look into her eyes and connect. And it's so open and non-judgmental. And I realized that, like you said, it is about me. It's about me and how I'm feeling. It's not about me doing it for someone or doing it with someone or proving that I have open-mindedness. It's because I was feeling something I couldn't address with whatever tools I was already using that did not allow me to focus on myself and why something wasn't resonating.
Yep.
And how do I calm my body down? And how do I sit with it? What does that feel like? Does it feel better at the end? And when I found an outcome that led to yes, I was like, why wouldn't I practice this all the time? Well, even when I forget.
Yeah.
And then you do it and you're like, this is what this can feel like. And I've been talking to some of my friends who, have chronic anxiety and they feel like they're feeling guilt and shame all the time. And I'm like, have you tried it? And a lot of times they'll say yes, but I can't get into it. And I'm like, that's where you sit with it longer, maybe like really sit with it and like just sit with that feeling. And I remember not even knowing how to describe that. And I still don't even know if I am correctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like when you share these things, it's really about having the experience and being able to get into it deeper and deeper, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Because it couldn't click for me the first time I did it. I'm just sitting there like, what am I supposed to take a 20-minute nap?
Yeah.
Like, when is this going to be over? Like, there's a garbage truck outside.
Yes.
Like, that's not supposed to be happening. Like, how am I supposed to focus on this music? When is this going to be done?
It's highly uncomfortable and itchy almost.
Yeah.
And
but it's a visualization that we do.
Yes.
So it's like taking you through something in your mind rather than that kind of like stereotypical meditation. I'm going to sit here in all silence. I can't do that either, to be honest. But the visualization. And so I think we call it kind of meditation / visualization.
Well, and the energy there together and everybody's kind of doing it and, your eyes are closed and it's not very long. It's between 5 and 10 minutes. So it's not crazy.
But it just lets you align and sink in with a source that is deeper than what's going on the outside, which is a beautiful thing.
I think people still think of this as very like hippy dippy. So woo woo.
And that's so funny that you said that.
I don't think that now, but I've only been practicing these kinds of things for a short amount of time in my life. And so to say that coming from where I come from, I'm saying I still know that people think that way.
Okay.
The recognition of it to say that people don't know what authenticity is because they've never asked themselves like, well, how do I want to live?
Yeah.
Is that for me right now? Or is that for me in the future?
Or is that for a former self?
Yeah. Who am I trying to impress right now? Is that even for me?
Yeah.
And it's safety.
It's wild, isn't it?
It's safety too, to be that person that everybody else wants. That's safe to be in a community that I might look or show up different. I'm not going to be accepted into this. Yeah. And then there just comes to a time where you're like, so what? Like, I need to do this alone then. Being alone is scary, but it's necessary. Yeah.
I like that you guys are bringing up a lot of words because I think that this resonates is like we have different ways that we present ourselves to serve a certain outcome. So when you engage with your daughters, you have a way that you interact. When you are at a business meeting or you're running something, your restaurant, whatever it is, you come in with this goal, this plan. I execute it this way because, like you said, you're both powerhouse businesswomen. And then also you talked about vulnerability. Like I'm now allowed in this room full of women just like me who don't have my experience, but have experience. I'm recognizing them as like me. I'm respecting them as like me. You have the same feelings. You have the same capability. You're also strong. So now I can be soft. And I think that there's such power in softness for women. And it makes me kind of emotional that like and this is my interpretation of it, but the world expects us to be so put together and so strong and so capable. And I'm like, but I don't want to be that all the time. I don't want to make a choice.
Yeah.
I don't want to be solely responsible for every single thing in a home or in the business or know the right thing to do because I don't. Yeah. I don't know. I want to say, I don't know. You figure it out.
So that, I mean, you could be a third person facilitating this, because women don't know that they can do that. They're told what to do in their marriage. They're told, and their family really governs them. You can't step outside. So what do we do? We crash out. We go so hard with the PTO and going out for every birthday party and doing all the things, and also running a business or being somebody's key employee or being the wife that, can do all the things. We crash out. What do we do? And then we look crazy because we can't handle it. Yeah. Right. And then we're like,
what a
let's
cool
stay away
word.
From her.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Such a kind thing to just totally knock someone all the way down.
Right.
To your thoughts and feelings and words are so completely irrational that we're literally going to give you a diagnosis right now.
Yeah.
Like how demeaning. It's just like saying you have an addiction without saying, hey, it looks like we're struggling with something. Like, are we identifying this? Do you need my help?
Yeah.
Is this how you see yourself? Is this what you would like? If it is, I support you.
And we're taught not to ask for help too, right? So, and then we can't ask for it. But I think our beauty does live within our softness. And when I moved here and I was forced to not have a career, and all of a sudden, all of my identities of everything that I associated success with left me, I was like, right. So all I am is a mom and a wife. And that's what I said to myself. All I am is that.
Cinderella.
Right? And I'm cooking and I'm cleaning, and I resented it so much because I felt inadequate. I felt unworthy. I felt inadequate. I thought, what am I contributing? When really it was exactly what I needed to pivot me to go, oh my God, I have the opportunity to get to know myself. And I am worth every single bit of every thought and feeling that I possess, So it was so cathartic for me to soften, just not have to take care of everything and just be and figure out who I am. And my kids and my husband and my friends and everyone who's crossed my path since I've met here.
Your mom?
My mother, my whole family, they really, it's a rippling effect. It's a healing rippling effect that then, Devin's able to soften since I've met her in so many beautiful ways. And it's gorgeous stuff. So thank you for bringing that up. It's so important.
The softness, because I thought if I lose my edge, how am I going to do business with men? If they see me as an emotional being, like I've had so many men, you'd never cry. I could never picture you crying. And that is true. I mean, I have a really get up in sports mentality, like who cares, don't cry about it. But meeting Nicole, I've tapped into that side of me, and it's made me grow for sure. It's like now I have 4 daughters instead of the 3. And I really like that. I really like that soft, nurturing side to myself. My mother passed away 10 years ago. So I have a lot of, emotional stuff behind that too, that she didn't get to see my girls raised and everything. I really like this Authenticity Collective because it gives me such a great outlet to be the softer side of me. And people never see that out in the streets out here in the community. And they get to see it there, and they're like, wow, like she had somebody recently say, I just would have never thought Devin went through that. And that's okay too. Those parts of me have brought me to where I'm at now. And I have to love those parts that were kind of dysregulated, I think. Nicole has a really good, something that sat in my head was, she said, in Australia, we don't do this Authenticity Collective. Like, that's just a party.
Okay.
And here we need an Authenticity Collective
to have these conversations.
Right.
Open the floor to feel open and vulnerable. And
culturally, it's very different here. And even being raised in Canada, I left Canada in my 20s. So I thought very different back then. I think my head was floating in alcohol anyway, so I wasn't thinking straight. But yeah, I mean, Australia is great for that people do for the most part. I mean, there's a little bit of people who steer away, but there's a lot more authenticity and real conversations and support and a sense of community. Whereas here, I really found it was like a great divide, and it was a competition, and it was a this and a that. And it doesn't need to be.
So we're going to wrap up in a minute, but I kind of want to ask you guys a couple of things. If I'm totally lost on this journey, I'm lost in life, I'm having feelings, and I don't, I'm not registering, I'm closing things down. Maybe I'm struggling with addiction. What does this look like? How do people come in? Do I have to come in completely broken to like tap into what you're, to squeeze the juice? How do I come in? How do I do this?
Yeah, we don't discriminate, and we welcome people on any spectrum of the journey that they're on. We have healers that have been in healing capacities who are just a wealth of knowledge for like 30 years. And then we do have people that have just had a breaking point and they've gone through a divorce and they're struggling with addiction. So we welcome anyone on every edge of the spectrum. And I think the important thing is to just walk in, try to be yourself, be vulnerable, be open to new experiences, and you'll walk away pretty happy and complete.
Have no expectation, and then you'll set your expectation when you're there. So don't come in pre-programmed, or this is what I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to avoid talking about.
Just try to show up as yourself.
Exactly. It should be how animals see you kind of thing. They just know your vibration. They know if they can trust you or not. They know if you're scared or not, that kind of thing. Like you should just come in. Nerves are okay. That's really important to anything. I think though, if you're super broken or super awesome and have no problems, you're not even going to be willing to grab that life vest. You don't know what to do with it. Mm-hmm. So our people are in the pond looking around, like what's out there, maybe what's the next thing, that kind of.
And it's a forever journey. Like you don't come to the end of this journey and go, I'm fixed, I'm healed, I'm authentic, it's done. It doesn't happen like that. This is a roller coaster, but I will tell you, once you crack open to it, Amber, now that you're cracked open, you're never going to turn back.
It's true.
And it's a beautiful thing. So you need to find your people. You need to find the people that resonate with you on that journey to your truth. Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful journey to be on, but it's never complete. We all have good and bad days. Yep. I put my masks on to cope a lot, and then I take them down when I can, and I feel strong enough to do so. Mm-hmm. It's a journey, and we all need to appreciate and accept that.
Nobody's telling your business when you leave. It's not like that. I think people get guarded because they want to, not talk about too much or whatever. You'll feel it when you feel it, to share or not. You always take away with something positive. You feel really good and light. You feel like you can start your weekend. It's usually on a weekend. So if you feel overwhelmed or, you feel like you can't do it all, this is a little oasis on the way to.
Yeah. And we present themes. So if you're new coming in and, you're curious about what we do and if you'd like to attend, we always post the theme and the topic of conversation. So if it's something that, is going to, hurt and the wound is too fresh to discuss. Yeah, don't, you don't have to come to that one. And that's why we choose different themes and we choose, various levels of depth. We're doing a hike, a morning sunrise hike on Apache Wash. And that is a simple gratitude circle. So we're not going to get all deep and meaningful. It's not going to like tear apart our souls. We're just going to simply sit there and watch the sunrise, do some yoga and be thankful for what we have.
Yeah, we did a
vision board. Mm-hmm. Before the first of the year. That was a big hit.
That was beautiful.
So we're so lucky. We have locations donated. I have a few locations that we use. It's just very comfortable too. We're at that age where comfort's key.
Oh yeah.
So like you're not going to struggle.
Show up in your pajamas.
Yes. Yes.
I love that. If people want to know more, how do they get a hold of you?
Authenticity. We have a website.
Smoke signals. Help.
Put the baby on your arm, the Starbucks, frazzled hair.
We're pretty open to give our cell phone, mobile numbers to people.
Instagram.
We'll talk to you. It's on Instagram. Our Instagram account is authenticity.collective.
Perfect.
And then we do have a website that's authenticity.collective-co.com.
Okay. Perfect.
Also with collaborations too. So if you feel like that aligns with you, you can go ahead and reach out and we're open for conversation. And we I am really big into promoting my competitors, I guess. I say that in the software world. They're like, why are you so, open to this? Because I want everybody to win. I think the lighter, brighter we are, the more creativity we can provide and everything. And it's not a dog eat dog world.
Yeah.
I've done that.
And I do think that we're unique in that we have a very practical approach to spirituality.
Yes.
We're very practical people. I love sage. Don't get me wrong. I'll go to an event with sage, but we are not wearing all white and saging you when you walk through the door.
Okay.
Right?
Great.
That's good. Yes.
The sisterhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It's a beginner. Expensive, but without all the fluff.
Yeah. We're not diving in the ocean. We're at the community pool.
Perfect. I love it. Thank you guys so much for coming on, Nicole, Devin with Authenticity Collective. And that has been today's episode of the Scottsdale Living Podcast. Catch you next time.